So in front of me here, I have two boxes. I have a charger, and I also have, in a mysterious box, a brand new camera. And by brand new, I mean it's 15 years old, and I got this camera because I was looking for a little alternative to something small, something everyday, pocketable, and I came across this camera, and it has a little bit of a cult following, these versions, and yeah, I decided to pick one up off the bay, and yeah, so it's been here for a couple of days. I've been itching to open it. Yeah, let's unbox it together and then head out and do some street photography. Have any fancy knives here or anything like possibly other tech channels have. They have that. It's clean and straight barbarian, ripping it apart. Cool. This is my new camera, the Panasonic Lumix LX5. In its original box, it says on here that there is a Leica DC lens, 3.8 times optical zoom, wide angle 24mm, high sensitivity 10.1 megapixels. Oh yeah! HD movie, intelligent resolution technology, and a 3-inch large LCD screen. So obviously you get CDs back in the day. This camera was released in 2010, and it has the famous CCD sensor, and oh, a nice little strap, some wires, more wires. Oh, I think that is the SD card. It doesn't come with a charger, so I purchased one off Amazon. Just needed it today, tomorrow. So I've got a nice little charger to go with it as well for the battery. Apparently the battery lasts for quite a long time, which is pretty cool. And then finally, we have the camera. It comes in a nice little box. Thank you for having packaged this up. Very well packaged. Appreciate it. And here we go. The Lumix LX5. Okay, so this is the Lumix LX5. And as you can see, this little cap on it is a little bit annoying already, but it will do. Cool, and then there we have it. Oh, that is a cool little sound. Yeah, you can see from the front that it's, well, that little thing dangling is a little bit annoying. Nice, it has these little aspect ratios on top, as you can see. Let's swap them. Oh, fantastic. So all in all, there's a great little camera. So far, so good. Let's try the optical zoom. That's really far in. Focus in. Now, I got this camera not because of the color. I mean, the color looks really fantastic there. I actually got it for the black and white. Has this. These are all the film modes that it has. So this is going to be, these are already filming, so dynamic black and white. Really love that. Looks great off the bat already. And that is one of the reasons I got that, because apparently the CCD sensor for the black and white photos is really fantastic. So I'm going to go out and try that today. It has a little flash as well. Click that little button. Will that flash? Cool, the flash looks good. Let's try that again. It's really cool. As you can see, the flash at the front there. Sorry for the bad filming. Flash on top. I'm guessing you just press that down, press the button, comes up. That wasn't satisfying. Ooh, nice, cool. So when you're done using it, you can just turn it off. That whips back in. Lens cap is small enough to fit in my pocket. And all in all, that is in really good nick. That is the Lumix LX5. So just made it to the city centre of Sheffield, and I've got the Lumix LX5 with me. You want to say S5. And I'm just gonna go drop some film off, as I've been trying to use a bit of film for some work, see how that turns out. I don't know. So I'm using the Pentax ME Super for that. Yeah, I'm gonna go drop some film off at the local developer, and then we're gonna head out with the LX5. All right, I'm back. I thought that I was having problems with the DJI mic, DJI Mic 2. Turns out I had just muted it, and I was worrying that it was a fault, and I dropped off the film, and then I was panicking. So what I was gonna say is, for reference, this is my pocket. And it just fits in there. I've attached the little strap to it. Yeah, like loosely attached strap. So I've taken the cap off the side as well, as you can see, because that was really, really annoying. And yeah, straight back in the pocket. I've had a few test shots of it. And yeah, we're just gonna have some fun with the LX5. The battery has gone down by 1 bar. I'm a little bit worried about that. I've only got 1 battery, so we're gonna go until it dies, I think. All right, let's go. All right, so the first thing that I'm noticing is that in sunlight, I can't really see much using the screen. So it's a big enough screen. Yeah, I mean, not much smaller than the X Pro 1 or the S5, but I can't really see much when the sun is glaring on it. And there's no viewfinder, so that means I am kind of hopelessly like looking. It looks all right, and I'm hoping they look okay. But that is the first thing I'm noticing. Not too bothered about the viewfinder as much, because I'm just treating it like a point and shoot, which is pretty cool. I've used black and white, and I've used the color profile, which I've kind of custom set to my own liking. I've done that at home. The next thing I'd like to say about it is that it is so tiny. Like, I look like a tourist, in all honesty. And if I'm just clicking something, then it doesn't look too serious. It's not a massive camera like the S5 or even the X Pro 1. So yeah, it looks a bit like a toy, which is pretty cool. The clarity on the screen isn't great, but I mean, hopefully once I get them back and home and onto Lightroom, they will look a little bit better. 10 megapixels, not too far off the X Pro 1 megapixel count. So yeah, just on the screen, it looks a bit pixelated. So yeah, having to kind of trust in the camera. We'll continue on the journey with the LX5, and I'll see you in a second. So I'm going to try the zoom out. I don't know if you can see that. The zoom seems pretty good. Nice. There doesn't seem to be any sound when using the zoom, which is really cool. so very conspicuous again. Like I said, I'm trying to use this as a bit more of a conspicuous camera. So smaller spaces, I can kind of maybe get this out and use it. And yeah, it just gives me another format for shooting in. Okay, so I've just been using the zoom and I've just discovered the option to step zoom. The step zoom is the option to, I'll show you. So we go through this, scrolling through here, not eye zoom, step zoom. You turn that on. When you go to zoom, it goes through, you can see that, what focal length you are going to be shooting at, which is really handy. I can finally see what I'm zooming into. So this zoom, it does go 24 to 90, and that is a wicked focal length to have in such a tiny little camera. Like I said, the zoom is very quiet, can't hear it at all, and it goes really, really fantastically smooth. Yeah, feel like a bit of a creep zooming in. Again, having this zoom feature is a really fantastic feature to have on such a tiny camera. Means that I'm not stuck at like one focal length. The reason why I've gone for the Panasonic Lumix LX5 is that I was actually looking at one of the Fujifilm X100s, and more considerably the Fujifilm X100F. I like the look of the V, or the 5 and the 6, however the F really intrigued me. Yeah, I think the images coming out of that just really look fantastic. But they are going for around £600, so I thought, let me look for something else, and that's when I stumbled across the Lumix LX5. Now with this little camera, you get the Leica lens, which is absolutely fantastic. You get the CCD sensor, which is producing that film-like character. So I'm getting infinite film photos with this one. As we all know, developing film and all of that is costly. And I was also really intrigued by the zoom. Now, like I just said, I was just using the step zoom, and having the 24 to 90 in my pocket is pretty crazy indeed. Now, obviously, apples and oranges, the Fujifilm X100F compared to the LX5, this sensor is a lot smaller, but if I can get half or even a quarter of that picture quality within this tiny little body for that, for a fraction of the cost, then why wouldn't I do it? So far, I mean, I've spent a couple hours with it out. I just realised I only had the 2GB SD card in, so I only had probably about 150 photos. Taken a few photos, not all fantastic street photos, to be honest with you, but it's really enjoyable camera to use, and I'll definitely be adding it to my lineup. It just fits in my pocket, so yeah, really loving it so far.